What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another live stream. Today we're going to be doing my live stream watch along of Manchester City's game against Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. Big game for Manchester City. We've lost back-to-back Premier League games. We've lost 4 games in a row in all competitions. We've had a couple of weeks off with the international break. Pep Guardiola's signed a new contract at Manchester City until 2027, which is an extra year on what we was all expecting. I feel like there's more of a feel-good factor at Manchester City right now. We're slowly starting to get some players back from injury too. And it'd be really nice today if we could get back to winning ways and just set us up nicely into what's going to be a very busy, very relentless 4 weeks for Manchester City before we end up getting a nice few days off just before Christmas. So we will see what direction we go into. We know we've got Spurs today. Not going to be an easy game. Spurs will take a lot of confidence from the fact that they beat Manchester City last month on their own patch in the League Cup. They'll take confidence from Manchester City being on their worst run since 2006. And also Tottenham Hotspur, I'm sure, are going to take some confidence of thinking that this is a really good time to face Manchester City. Spurs, though, having their own problems with injuries. Ange Postecoglu really struggling to get the best out of the players at his disposal. So we're getting 2 teams clashing who have, over the last month or so, been pretty inconsistent. City could really do with the 3 points if we could put in a really good performance today, score some goals, grab them 3 points by any means necessary, and then start to look and take things one game at a time and push from there. We know we've got Feyenoord on Tuesday in the Champions League. It's a must-win game. It's nice to be back at the Etihad Stadium today, and it's nice to be back at the Etihad Stadium on Tuesday in that game against Feyenoord as well. We know that we've got Liverpool in a huge game next weekend at Anfield too. We can't be looking too far ahead. Take it one game at a time, judge and assess from there. We will speak more about the team selection. I know there's been some concern from some fans that have been putting out their opinions about the lack of physicality, the lack of pace, the lack of runners in Manchester City's midfield today. We'll speak about that and all the build-up to today's game, along with doing my live reaction watch-along to this game between Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. So, if you are enjoying the content, guys, I really would appreciate you leaving a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes like we always do on my live watch-along. So, if you are watching this and you haven't already, please do leave a thumbs up. Already got off to a really good start. On to 15 likes means we're 85 likes away from my like goal of 100 likes. So, any help towards that would be great. Also, don't forget to get your thoughts in the live chat, where you're tuning in from today, and also what your score prediction is for today's game. Nice to see Dave in the chat once more. Sure he's happy with Middlesbrough winning by 6-2 away from home against Oxford in the Championship. Still thinks that Middlesbrough are conceding too many goals, but the scoring goals and the winning game, so can't really complain too much. You know, I'd be quite happy with Man City if we're conceding goals, but scoring goals and winning games. That's what it's all down to. Always strive for perfection, though, and you do want to tighten up because you're not going to be scoring 4, 5, 6 goals every single game. There has to be a point where you've got to tighten up a little bit, and sometimes it's about scoring 1 or 2 goals and then 1 or 2 goals being enough to pick up the 3 points. Kitty, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Do hope you are well. Suleiman, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheering on Manchester City today. Rain, thanks for tuning in. Says, let's go. How have I been? Very well, thank you. How are you, my friend? It says, how is the weather? Blustery. Wet. There's been a lot of rain today. There's been some games postponed in England in particular. The further north you go, the worse the weather's been. In Manchester, it's been windy. The wind has eased off. Yeah, I think it's probably still quite wet. Don't think it's raining right now in Manchester, or certainly I'm around 12 miles away from the Etihad Stadium, and it's not currently raining here. So hopefully the playing surface, it's going to be a bit greasy, it's going to be a bit wet. Maybe try 1 or 2 long-range shots just to see the keeper spills it or something happens. We'll have to wait and see. But the game, perfectly good to go. Proper Manchester Day is how I would describe it. Rain says it's snowing. I don't know if that's he's on about it's snowing where he is or whether it's snowing in Manchester. If it's snowing in Manchester, it's news to me. Daniel, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Says City, they have to win today. It's must win. You're right there. Have to win. It's got to be a win for Manchester City today. Says, what is your predictions today with City having to win? I will go through the teams and I will give my prediction from that very soon. Corey, thanks so much for tuning in as well. Going for a 3-1 victory for Manchester City. Love that. Brilliant. Nice and positive. Really appreciate that. So thank you, Corey, for tuning in. Much appreciated. Suleiman, thanks very much for your kind comment. Kobe, thanks for tuning in. Do hope you are well, my friend. And Rain, I should imagine it's you that has the snow rather than us being based in Finland. What temperatures are we looking at in Finland and whereabouts in Finland? We're nosy here on the JSGC channel. Anyway, guys, don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. That would be great. Do press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. As you can see from the live subscriber count, the JSGC channel now less than 900 subs away from 39,000 subscribers. A massive number, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go and check out my social media links, which you can find in the description or on the yellow banner if you want to go and search for me and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. TikTok link also in the description too, along with my email, which is also on the yellow banner if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you once more by SofaScore. And a huge thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Remember, if you do go and check out SofaScore, it does help to support the future content created here on my channel. The link's in the description. The link's also in the live chat. Alternatively, you can use the QR code on screen. Just scan that. That'll take you to the download page to download SofaScore. SofaScore is a free app to download. They're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores along with the latest match information, match statistics, match analysis, and so much more. Not just limited to football, by the way. It's got all of the sports that you guys love to follow all in one place, all in one app. As I said, it is free, worthwhile checking out, and anyone that does download SofaScore using my link does help to support the future content created here on my channel. Geffen, thanks for tuning in, my friend. Says, big win needed, going 3-0. 3-0 to Manchester City. So, let's have a look then. Let's head on to today's video sponsor, SofaScore. It's going to ask me who I think is going to win today's game. Well, I'm going to go firstly with Manchester City. 69% of people on SofaScore are agreeing with me, with 104,000 people voting. 14% going with the draw and 17% going with a Tottenham Hotspur win. Do I think both teams are going to score? Yes, 88% of people think it's going to be both teams to score. 12% going with no. And who do I think is going to score first? I'm going to be a bit negative. I think Spurs are going to score first. 23% of users going with that. Just 2% going with no result, and 75% going with Manchester City to score the opening goal of today's game. Manchester City firm favourites today at 3-1 on to win this game. A draw at just over 4-1, and Tottenham Hotspur 6.5-1 to win this game. Game being broadcast live in the UK on Sky Sports. So if you want to watch in the UK, the game is live on Sky Sports. This game kicking off at 5:30 PM GMT in around 15 minutes time, so players will be making their way out of the tunnel in roughly around 10 minutes or so. Rodri has been on the pitch and he has presented to the club and to the fans his Ballon d'Or trophy, so a huge congratulations there to Rodri on that tremendous achievement. Today's referee is John Brooks, averages 0.14 red cards per game and averages 3.86 yellow cards per game, or 4 yellow cards. So if you want to have a bet, maybe 40 plus booking points may be a good point to go towards going off the referee's habits. So most importantly, let's have a look at the teams. We're going to start with our opponents first today. Tottenham Hotspur lining up with an average age of their squad of 26.6 years, lining up with a 4-2-3-1 formation led by manager Ange Postecoglu. Kobe, thanks for tuning in, says saw Rico in midfield. We'll speak about that in just one moment. It does look like Rico Lewis is going to be playing in midfield. Rain says, I'm in Jeonsu. Hope I've said that correctly. Very nice. Snowing there. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. And Suleiman says, always follow you and like. Much appreciated. Tuning in from Sierra Leone. I'm sure Sierra Leone not seeing as much snow as Finland. I'm sure the weather gorgeous there. Thank you very much, Suleiman, for tuning in. Much appreciated, my friends. So, 4-2-3-1 for Spurs, lining up with Vicario in goal. They've got Pedro Porro starting at right back, with Destiny Udogie starting at left back, with Radu Dragusin starting at centre back alongside Ben Davies. The big news, of course, is that captain Cristian Romero not fit today for Tottenham Hotspur, and a big blow. In midfield, you've got Yves Bissouma starting alongside him is Papa Matar Sarr and James Maddison. Big news there is Yves Bissouma starting in midfield. It does mean that Tottenham Hotspur are missing Rodrigo Bentancur, who starts the first of a 7-game suspension, which I do believe Tottenham Hotspur have appealed. Not appealing that he should be suspended, just appealing how many games he has been suspended for. No surprise to see Dejan Kulusevski starting. He starts on the right wing rather than into midfield, with captain Heung Min Son starting on the left wing, with new signing from AFC Bournemouth in the summer, Dominic Solanke starting up top. Strong team. Tottenham currently sit 11th right now in the Premier League and should be doing much better. And I'll tell you right now, Ange Postecoglu, he's under pressure. Now, on the bench for Tottenham Hotspur today, they have got Fraser Forster, Malachi Hardy, Jed Spence, Archie Gray, Callum Oluseyi, Lucas Bergvall, Timo Werner, Will Shankshire, and Brennan Johnson. I'm surprised Brennan Johnson weren't starting. I thought that he would have started, and maybe Sarr would have missed out and would have gone with Kulusevski in midfield, going off how slow Man City's midfield is. But they haven't gone with that. So there we are. Here's an option from the bench, as is goal scorer from Tottenham Hotspur's game against Manchester City last month, Timo Werner. So plenty of pace there and options for Spurs if they are chasing this game. So it would be well within Man City's best interest to score first, and if we can, put ourselves in a position to try and kill the game off. If you think back to the last few games against Sporting, against Brighton, we were putting ourselves in positions, taking leads, and then tiring after 30, 35 minutes, and then not putting games to bed, teams staying in the game, coming back into them, grabbing a goal, grabbing an equaliser, and pushing from there and winning the game, and Manchester City ultimately missing out on points, which is exactly what we don't want to happen today. But for Spurs, they're very much feeling a huge bit of an injury crisis. It is. Mikey Moore out, Cristian Romero out, Bentancur out, Van der Ven out, Odegaard out, Richarlison out. There's a lot of defenders out there. They're down to the bare bones. They're going with Porro, Dragusin, Davis and Udogie. They're the defenders that they've got left. They pick up any injuries today and they're stretched really, really thin. So if I'm looking at that with Man City, I'm thinking the likes of Phil Foden, Savinho, Bernardo, Erling Haaland, and hopefully Gundogan can find some form. They should really be rubbing their hands at that, if I'm being completely honest. So, Manchester City then, our starting lineup today at an average age of 27.5 years. It needs bringing down, that it really does. This winter in the transfer window through next summer, it needs bringing down. I actually think that's why Pep Guardiola has decided to sign a 1-year extra extension to his deal than what was first planned. He wanted a 12-month extension until 2026. Maybe City were going to put in an option for that to be extended. It's a straight in 2027, because that's how long it's going to take for the transition to happen for Man City to make the necessary signings to replace some of the players who were 30 years old plus, and bring that average age of the squad down, and bring in new energy and new blood into the squad. Going to take a bit of time, but Pep Guardiola has committed to a bit of time to help Manchester City with that transition. But very important that transition does happen, because you're seeing high quality young players. Josko Gvardiol, Rico Lewis, Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, all young players, yet still our average squad is close to 28 years old, because there's lots of aging players in there. You know, Kyle Walker, captain, 33? Same with Ilkay Gundogan. Bernardo Silva into his 30s. Akanji's getting no younger. Ederson's getting no younger. So there's lots of experience in there, and you can have lots of success with experience. But when you've got aging players, managing the squad and squad rotation, absolutely key. And I think Man City may be thinking about that heading into our match against Feyenoord, which, let's not forget, is also a must-win game in the Champions League and is of just as much importance to the club as the Premier League. So we're lining up today with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Ederson starts in goal, even though he's only returned back to training on Thursday, so I was expecting maybe to see Ortega starting. We normally see when the Brazilians and the Argentinians and the South Americans all come back on a Thursday, and if we're playing on the Saturday, they've normally had a day less prep than everybody else, that we normally go with somebody else, but Ederson given the nod and Savinho given the nod. So, anyway, back four, made up of captain Kyle Walker, starts on the right-hand side. Firmly believe that there's one reason for that. Heung Min Son. Kyle Walker's job today, nothing more than to sit like glue to Heung Min Son. Give him no space. Stop Sonny. Stop Spurs as far as I'm concerned. Looking like John Stones going into centre-back alongside Manuel Akanji and Josko Gvardiol. I imagine Josko Gvardiol is going to be given a little bit more freedom to get forward, so I imagine that John Stones is probably going to linger back, and if Josko Gvardiol decides to push forward, then I expect the likes of Rico Lewis and Ilkay Gundogan, who are starting in midfield, to maybe drop a little bit deeper. So that might just be the case there, that City are a bit weary of how much energy and how quick Tottenham Hotspur's attack is, that we're deciding to go with 5, maybe even 6 defensive players, depending on what Josko Gvardiol wants to do, and if he's going to get forward. Ilkay Gundogan in for a huge game. He doesn't play international football anymore, retired in the summer. He's had 2 weeks off, so there's no reason for him not to be full of energy, doing a lot of running and helping Manchester City out here. Kovacic is out for 3 to 4 weeks, so the likes of Gundogan, we really need him to start to step up and find his form. Gundogan finding his form roundabout now would be delightful, it really would. Bernardo Silva also starting for City today. I reckon it will be Savinho starting on the right wing, Phil Foden going in on the left wing, and Erling Haaland starting up top, and obviously the main danger for Tottenham to try and keep an eye out for. Manchester City's bench for today, bit of a mixture of experienced players and young players. Stefan Ortega on the bench. Alongside him, I'll start with the experienced players first. So Nathan Ake, Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne and Matheus Nunes. Nice to see 3 or 4 first choice players really there as options from the bench. So plenty of options for City to bring players off the bench to try and make a difference in this game. I imagine the likes of Ake and Grealish and Nunes, they're going to be starting against Feyenoord. Kevin De Bruyne, I've no idea how fit he is, but I think it's the 3rd game in a row that we've seen him start from the bench rather than starting as a starting 11 player. I don't think he's been getting that many minutes, and I'm not too sure if he's going to get many minutes, if any minutes, in this game. If he is fit, and he's fit enough to make the bench, then realistically he's capable of doing 20, 30 minutes here, because, to be honest, I look at that midfield and I'm thinking it's maybe lacking a bit of creativity. It's lacking a Kevin De Bruyne, so I am surprised he's not started, and I'm not too sure he's going to start on Tuesday either against Feyenoord, because I just don't think he's fit. That's my opinion, though. Youngsters on the bench for City today include Jarme Simpson-Poussey, Jacob Wright, Nico O'Reilly, and James McAtee as well. So plenty of fresh options there for Manchester City if they do want to put the trust in the youngsters. But quite a few of these youngsters haven't really got minutes during an injury crisis. We're just starting to curve past this injury crisis. And because we're just starting to curve past it, I imagine there's probably going to be very limited minutes for the young players, which I think is a shame, but that is just me. Kawami, thanks for tuning in. Good to be back and good to see you, my friend. Feeling confident going with a Manchester City win today. Me too. My score prediction, 3-1 Manchester City. Get your score predictions in the chat. Don't forget, guys, do go and submit on the poll who you think is going to win today. At the moment, 79% of you guys going with a Manchester City win, 6% going with a Spurs win, and 15% going with a draw. Manchester City fan says still Spurs might turn into prime Brazil today, as they always do against us. They always put on a show. I just think how Man City play really suits what Ange Postecoglu wants to do with Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur are going to have chances today. There's going to be opportunities for them to win this game. We've got to try and keep that to as few opportunities for them as possible and ensure that we're creating and putting our opportunities away. Sounds really cliched, but the team that's obviously puts the ball in the back of the net is going to win this game. You have to be clinical. To win Premier League games, you have to be clinical. We didn't beat Bournemouth because we weren't clinical and they were. We didn't beat Brighton because we weren't clinical and they were. We didn't beat Sporting because they were clinical and we wasn't. We didn't beat Spurs. We had opportunities to win all of these games. We didn't win any of these games. We lost all these games because we just didn't put the ball in the onion bag. And that's what we need to improve on. Defensively, City aren't brilliant. I know we're not brilliant. The best form of defence for City is to attack, score goals, score 1, push for 2, score 2, push for 3, kill games off as quickly as possible. You want to ease this injury crisis that we've got? Start scoring 2 or 3 goals in one half. Put a game to bed, coast the second half, preserve legs, preserve energy. Something we're very good at doing in the second half of the season. We're in a very important part in the first half of the season where it's all about sticking with it, persevering, pushing through a difficult spell. Here against Spurs, here against Feyenoord, away against Liverpool. Them next 3 games, crucial for me as to what happens to Manchester City's season come May. Sympathy, thanks for tuning in, says no Ruben, no Doku, certainly isn't, no Kovacic either, out for 3 to 4 weeks, no Oscar Bobb, no Rodri. Plenty of problems for Manchester City. He reckons a draw for this game. I'm still confident. I think City are going to learn from their mistakes. I think there's going to be a little pick-me-up from Pep signing his new contract. So I'm going 3-1 Manchester City. Justin, thanks for tuning in. Says Saints fan back. Hope everyone's having a great day. I do hope you're having a great day as well, Justin. And nice to see you once more popping in on the live stream, my friend. Winston says, come on City, let's hand them a 3-0. Tuning in on Supersport Premier League South Africa. Love that. Much love to you and to South Africa. Tuning in from Johannesburg. Very nice. Again, sure the weather's nicer there than what it is here in Greater Manchester. Andy and Alison, thanks for tuning in. Says, hi Jay, on my way home. Bus got stuck in all the snow up here in North Yorkshire. Not what we like to see. Do hope your bus and you and everybody else is okay though. And you managed to get through that little hump in the road. Manchester City fan says, let's be honest, Gundogan has been absolutely shambolic ever since his return from Barcelona. It's a sabbatical. He's too busy thinking about the slow pace of La Liga. Needs to adapt and get up to pace with the Premier League. I believe that he can. The only problem for me is his age. It's going to take a bit of time, and I just don't think he has time. I don't think City are going to renew his contract. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne is going to have his contract renewed either. So you're talking here about 2 amazing players and very much looking at an end of an era. So rejuvenating and refreshing Manchester City's midfield is an absolute must. And we're not even spoke about the absence of Rodri either. So lots for City to think about. Rare says this game could end up 5-4 either side. Could be a classic. So like last year at the Etihad, was it 3-3? I don't remember if it's 2-2 or 3-3. It was a brilliant game of football, and I don't mind dropping points when you've got a very entertaining game of football. What I do mind is losing and dropping points in games that are frustrating that we should be winning. And to me, I'm looking at the crisis that Spurs are having, and I'm thinking, good time to be playing them, good chance for us to end this little barren spell that we've been on. And we're at the Etihad Stadium, Fortress Etihad Stadium. I fancy that we can beat anybody on our day at the Etihad Stadium with the quality that we've got in our squad. Kwame, I'm with you. Let's back the boys. I think City can win this game. I certainly do. So, players, they've made their way out of the tunnel onto the pitch. Rodri has done his celebrations. Nice little firework flame show that City were doing, celebrating Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or, which is great to see. Players making their way out onto the pitch ready for this game. So don't forget, if you are enjoying the content, guys, please do leave a thumbs up. 70 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos, or any general business inquiries. And also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the live chat, including your score prediction for this game. Matt says, feeling confident today. Delusion. I don't think it's delusion. I'm confident. I think City can pick up the 3 points. I think I'm feeling much more optimistic from the fact that City are playing at home. I think that's crucial for me. And you've got to make your home games count. They're so important in a marathon season in the Premier League as far as I'm concerned. Kouame says, come on City, as Rodri gets a guard of honour, shows the crowd one more time his Ballon d'Or. He's super happy and ready to make his way out there. Erling Haaland there, looking very enthusiastic. He wants a Ballon d'Or as well, doesn't he? I tell you what, City come away with the big trophies at the end of the season. He finishes top goal scorer, carries on his good form. You never know. You never know. Finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Thank you very much to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Do go and check them out. Links and details there in the description or in the live chat, or you can use the QR code on screen. Remember, SofaScore is a free app to download. Going to keep you up to date with all the latest football scores, information, statistics, and all your good footballing needs. Isn't just limited to football. It's got all the sports that you guys love to follow and keep up to date with. So do go and check them out. And thank you very much to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Rain going for a 2-2 draw, as I am going to end the poll very quickly. So if you want to get your predictions in as to what you think the result's going to be for this game, then you have got just a couple of seconds to do so. Whilst Tottenham, they're ready to get us underway for this game. Referee blows the whistle, and we do have the start of the first half, and I'm going to end the poll right there. Kouame going with a 2-0 victory today for Manchester City. Julia, thanks very much for tuning in as Phil Foden burst forward here for Manchester City, and he's hacked down. It's going to be a free kick early on for Manchester City, and 16 seconds in, get the first yellow card. Phil Foden in a heap of pain there. Goes right through the back of Phil Foden, and Yves Bissouma into the book, and it's not ideal for the holding midfielder for Spurs to go into the book 16 seconds in. It hurts Foden there. It's a nasty, nasty challenge. Poor ball given away from Spurs. Spurs attacking from right to left, attacking the north stand, the stand that's been constructed so far for the first half. Man City attacking the south stand like we normally do. City playing in their home shirts today. Sky blue shirts, white shorts and navy blue socks. Tottenham Hotspur playing in their home shirts today of white shirts, navy blue shorts and white socks. So a free kick with Foden and Gundogan stood over this. Chance to put a quality ball into the box. Stones forward, Gvardiol forward, Akanji forward, Haaland's in there. It's going to be Gundo to take, puts the ball in, and it brings the back post, and there's a chance for Akanji. Gets his foot onto it. I don't think he's expected it. I'm expecting Spurs to get a head onto that. They don't. It falls to Akanji, and if he anticipates that, he's got a clean shot on goal. In the end, just kind of shins it and goes out for a throw, and his poor giveaway from Spurs once more. Kyle Walker takes it quick, and Spurs manage to find the interception. City just trying to put pressure onto Tottenham very early here. Put the squeeze on, put them under pressure. City gunning to try and find that early goal, and Josko Gvardiol manages to get his foot onto that, and that will go out for a goal kick. Reminds me of a similar start we had against Arsenal in the Premier League. All guns blazing so far from City. City really looking to try and find that opening goal. Spurs have got to find a bit of composure. Working it now through Pedro Porro to the right-hand side. They can now come forward. Sarr finds Pedro Porro once more. He's got to turn, and he's going to have to play a pass back. Here is Udogie. As poor giveaway, Kyle Walker against his former team wins the ball back, and City play a ball forward. Here is Erling Haaland. He wants to play a pass in, looking for Phil Foden. He finds Foden. The space on the left here for Josko Gvardiol. He might want to put his foot through it. He doesn't. He goes for Haaland, heads it back across, and Savinho is in there, just a little bit beyond him. City knocking on the door. Here's Bernardo Silva. He's going to go for a ball across, and defended well by Tottenham Hotspur. Kulusevski manages to just push Tottenham further forward there, winning them a throw-in. City continuing to put the squeeze on. Here is Akanji now, gives the ball to John Stones. Heung Min Son's putting him under pressure. He's just going to go back to Ederson, and City will probably work this to the right. They will, to Kyle Walker, and he'll look to bring City forward. Nice fresh bit of energy straight from the international break. Sometimes you can look a bit jaded coming back from the international break. It takes a bit of time to gel together when you're so used to being around each other's company for weeks on weeks on weeks, and then you don't really see each other for 10 days, and then, you know, after 2 or 3 days of being back together, you're asked to come in and play a high-quality performance. It can be quite difficult. City doing a pretty good job here first 3.5 minutes. Can we test Vicario is the question. Can we find an early goal? Manchester City fans says Haaland should stop ghosting in big games. He scores a lot of big important goals for Manchester City. I think there's a bit of a myth about Erling Haaland ghosting in big games. He scores goals in big games. Here's Phil Foden coming forward. Finds Josko Gvardiol. There's space here. Haaland's in loads of space. Chance. Haaland. Oh, he ghosted. Puts it wide. Out for a corner. Real chance that for Manchester City. They spring that Tottenham Hotspur defence open. And Haaland needed a right foot there. You take it across his body. Take one touch onto your right foot and have a shot. It works, and he's looking for the near post. He takes it on his left. I don't think that was the right choice. It just allowed the defender in there for Erling Haaland. Obviously feels a lot more comfortable on his left foot, but he's not got a bad right foot on him. Foden puts a corner in, and keeper flaps, and Spurs can get it clear. Real bright start this for City. Could do with an opening goal. Let's have something to show for it. Bernardo Silva puts a ball in, cleared. Gundogan takes the touch. Spurs can't get out here. Here's Gundogan to Bernardo. Here's Rico Lewis for Manchester City then. To Akanji. Rico Lewis. He goes down. Referee says, I will play advantage. He stays down. I think he just stepped on his toes there. Well, it hurts that with the studs that they wear. Here's Savinho. He centralised himself, Savinho. He puts a ball across, and that'll be a corner for Manchester City. He's looked very bright at the moment, Savinho. Plenty of movement from him. I wonder if maybe Man City are just asking Savinho to do something a little different. Obviously, not scored for Man City yet, and we're in the middle of November. He's looked good. Could do with some goals to his name. Another corner for City. Tottenham conceded the second most set-piece goals in the last 2 seasons in the Premier League. Only Nottingham Forest have conceded more. As corner here for City, Gundogan puts one in. Headed clear, doesn't beat the first man. Bit of a disappointing ball in. Spurs can hook that clear. Kyle Walker, under pressure, got to win the header. Wins the initial header. Phil Foden's going to mop that up and sensibly just works the ball back to Ederson to ensure that City keep hold of possession here. Ederson then plays a pass into Akanji. Lovely ball from Akanji into Savinho, dropping deep. Playing in that central midfield role, Savinho. I like it. It's different. It's looking good, looking sharp. Here's Foden, dropping deeper. Gives it to Akanji. He's just going to ping this to the right, looking for Rico Lewis. Good touch from Rico Lewis. Keeps himself onside. He's got Kyle Walker as one choice on the right. Doesn't play the pass. Maybe he should have. Decided to dummy it, and instead City are forced to go from right to left. Here's Ilkay Gundogan. He just plays a ball in, looking for Kyle Walker, and just about a yard further beyond Kyle Walker there. Takes a touch. He's in, ready to score. Might just have been offside there, Kyle Walker. Right idea from Silky Ilky, though. Heung Min Son under pressure from Rico Lewis. A free kick given for Tottenham. Worked back to Vicario. Can they get themselves out is the question. Here is Ben Davis. He plays a ball across. It's not a bad ball. It teased Josko Gvardiol. He thought about going, but he doesn't. And in the end, a poor pass from Sarr into Kulusevski. Offside flag up, and Spurs 2 touches looked like they were going to get away there and have a potential counter-attack, and poor timing of the run. Anyway, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up now. 65 likes away from 100 likes. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Here is Kyle Walker. Works the ball back to Johnny Stones. 8 minutes in here at the Etihad. 0-0. Here's Eddie in goal for City today. Plays the pass to John Stones. He's got Bernardo as an option on the left. Goes central to Gundogan. Here is Akanji. Lovely drop of the shoulder. Takes on Kulusevski really confidently and builds Manchester City in attack here. And here is Bernardo now on the left wing. has to turn under pressure from former Manchester City man Pedro Porro. Gundogan chips a ball in looking for Foden. Ben Davies is there. Josko Gvardiol couldn't play the ball across. Pedro Porro can play the ball forward, and that's going to be a free kick for Tottenham there. I think Bernardo Silva was a bit late on Kulusevski. I think Bernardo's just saying Kulusevski was already on his way down, but when Bernardo Silva's sliding in and not winning the football, 99 times out of 100, I think a free kick's going to be given, and that's exactly what happened. So here's Dragusin then, plays a pass to Vicario. And Manchester City's initial high-pressure game hasn't rewarded City with an early goal that they were looking for here. And I think Tottenham now will probably be quite thankful that over the last couple of minutes they've had a better opportunity to just grow into the game, and Spurs starting to look a little menacing on these potential counter-attacks. Just had another close call cut out really well by Johnny Stones, but the threat is definitely there because they are prepared to get 4 or 5 players forward. Phil Foden's pass poor, is unlucky with the sliding challenge, and Heung Min Son plays a nice ball across, a tasty ball across, looking for Dejan Kulusevski. In the end, just beyond him, Josko Gvardiol will lead the Manchester City charge, bringing City forward. Bernardo Silva does a good turn on Kulusevski. It will ensure that City have their possession, which is so important to the Pep Guardiola philosophy. Phil Foden goes down under pressure from a heavy challenge from Bissouma. He's got to be careful, remember. Picked up a yellow card inside the first minute at the Etihad today. I know we're only 10 minutes in, but he makes 2 or 3 consecutive challenges, and he runs the risk of getting sent off. And the only way this game gets more difficult for Spurs is if they're trailing and then they go down to 10 men as well. So they want to be avoiding them situations. They want to find that first goal, and they want to ensure that they keep 11 men on the pitch. Because if they don't, it's going to be very difficult. Oh, lovely drop of the shoulder from Savinho. And he plays the ball across Haaland. A good save there by the foot of Vicario. The best opportunity of the game. And that's going to be a throw-in to Tottenham Hotspur. Lovely work from Savinho. How good has Savinho looked? He goes first time, Haaland. It's a good save. He goes low. I don't think Haaland does anything wrong there. He goes first time looking for the opportunity. I think it's good positional work from the goalkeeper. It's a good save. It'd be easy for the goalkeeper to have overcommitted there, expecting Haaland to go across the face of goal. He goes for the near post, and keeper makes a good save. It's unlucky from Haaland. Don't think he does anything wrong there. It's just right place, right time. Strikes the ball. Forces the save from the goalkeeper. As I was saying, there's been a lot of rain in Manchester today. That surface is very wet. So Manchester City will know that. They'll be wary of that. As far as I'm concerned, you get the ball in a good area. Good time to be having some shots and testing the keeper. And Phil Foden's just bullied off the ball there by Yves Bissouma. And here is Tottenham coming forward now. Through Sarr, worked backwards though. Here is Udogie now on the left-hand side. Has to work the ball back to Ben Davies, Welsh international. Dragusin plays a long ball forward. He's looking for Kulusevski. He's going up against Josko Gvardiol. And Kulusevski does ever so well there to keep the ball in and get possession here for Tottenham. And Kulusevski plays a ball in. It's a tasty ball in. It's a beautiful, beautiful ball in. And James Maddison is there to find the opening goal of the game. All about the hard work of Kulusevski there. Lovely bit of reading of the game from James Maddison. And he has a tap-in. And Tottenham showing that the quality is there. They've lacked a bit of consistency so far this season. But they've got the quality. I think Josko Gvardiol should be a bit stronger, but it's all about that beautiful, beautiful ball from Kulusevski. And it's James Maddison making the most of that. And Tottenham Hotspur, despite spending maybe the first 13 minutes being forced back by Manchester City. Managed to work their way into the game. And first shot onto the target and into the back of the net. And Manchester City, they don't want to make it 5 losses in a row. Currently losing this game. And Spurs lead by a 1-0. It's a real nice goal. It's the kind of goal that I'd love Man City to score. It's the kind of goal that I'm looking for our midfielders to be able to create. Gundogan's tried a couple of balls and they've not quite clicked. A yard too heavy. Not a yard too heavy there for Kulusevski. City have just got to keep going. I've said before to you guys, it sounds real crazy, but Man City have a habit, in particular over the last couple of games against both Sporting and against Brighton. We've taken the lead and then take our foot off the gas. And I think it's the worst thing that we could do. Going behind here is going to keep the hunger and desire there for Man City. So I wouldn't expect Man City to burn out after 30 minutes today, as we've seen in the last couple of games before the international break. The danger that we have, though, going a goal behind, is just that Tottenham, they grab the next goal, and City are going to struggle. So, fans yelling the team on to try and get forward. City have just got to keep going. I did express my concern pre-game about the lack of running in Man City's midfield. Defence looks stretched as Foden. Surely! No, he's put it over the top of the crossbar. There's opportunities here for City. As Justin says, as a neutral, it's a good game. It's a good game because Tottenham are having a go at City. They know that the defence is stretched. They know that sitting deep is going to be the worst thing that they can do because eventually City will just wear them down and they'll find goals. So they want to have a pop. They want to score goals. Their best way of coming away from the Etihad today is to attack City. It's what they did last season. Worked a treat. It's a real poor pass that. I don't know what pass that was. Thinking Heung Min Son maybe played for City there. I don't know. Just passed the ball casually to Heung Min Son. Anyway, 16 minutes in, City trailing by 1-0 thanks to that goal from James Maddison. Don't forget, guys, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe. Do leave a thumbs up. Now 63 likes away from 100 likes. And do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Heung Min Son goes with a ball across. Kulusevski's causing all kinds of problems for City. It's his energy that's causing City a load of problems. He's a nuisance. A good player, real good player. Always rated Dejan Kulusevski. He's a really good player. Here's Maddison. Plays a pass into Adoji. And Spurs grown into this game. First 5 minutes looked a bit leggy. Struggled to keep up with the pace. City just couldn't find that opening goal. And Spurs have just grown really nicely into the game. Patient. Made sure they've covered the gaps when needed. And worked from there. City convinced Heung Min Son was offside there. But the City defenders are convinced. I'm not so convinced. Manchester City fan says City need Gyökeres next season. But the problem is you got a good striker there who's not going to get in the team because Erling Haaland's there. City don't play a second striker. You know, if we was going to play a second striker, we'd have done it when we had Julian Alvarez here. We didn't. So Haaland's not going to get displaced. As a cross comes in, headed clear by Stones. Bernardo Silva gets his foot onto it. Bernardo does ever so well to find a ball into Josko Gvardiol. In the end, ball ping-pongs around and Spurs once more coming forward, causing Manchester City problems. Here is Heung Min Son as a shot. Oh, it's a cracking save. It's a great effort from Sonny. And a really good save. A good strong right hand on it from Ederson to tip the ball round the post and out for a corner to Spurs. A lovely, lovely effort from Heung Min Son. Good save from Ederson. It's a save I'd expect Ederson to make. He's stretched. It maybe looks more stretched than he needs to. It looks like he's got it really covered, and in the end it ends up going onto his fingertips. And a few more centimetres, and That would have been 2-0. It looked comfortably uncomfortable for Manchester City. Anyway, corner for Spurs. More defending for City to do. Ball comes in. Expect the keeper to get a touch on that. No. Goes out for a goal kick. Ederson just launches himself at the ball. Misses the ball completely. And out for a goal kick. A bit of a strange one, that, from Eddie. Anyway, 19 minutes in. And Tottenham Hotspur lead by 1-0. I mean, it's amazing what the absence of one or two players does to Manchester City. I can't help but feel like a lot of the problems that we have in midfield would be gone had Rodri stayed fit. And that's an awful giveaway. And here's Heung Min Son now. Plays a lovely pass. Maddison, surely, 2-0. Lovely chip over Ederson. And City at 6s and 7s. Tottenham capitalising, punishing Manchester City. And Spurs lead by 2. A real good chip. Poor giveaway. Josko Gvardiol again. Manchester City, what are they doing? Not going to be 5 losses in a row. When was the last time we lost 5 games in a row? Josko Gvardiol, it's an awful giveaway. It's an awful giveaway. Josko Gvardiol giving the ball away. Well-timed run from James Maddison. It's a lovely finish from James Maddison. Very clinical. Plays a 1-2 with Heung Min Son. He's in the right place. Just skips past Walker. It's a lovely goal. These goals that Spurs have scored is exactly what I want to see from Manchester City. Exactly what I want to see. Sorts his feet out really well there, James Maddison. It's not an easy finish, that. Not an easy finish. And City can't cope. What on earth is going on? And I tell you what, Spurs score next. I think this game's done. Serious problems for City. Serious problems. They've got to score. They've got to score next. They've got to score soon to get back in this game. There was a game that we played, I think it was a couple of years ago against Spurs, where they looked so good first half, tired, and then second half got ripped to shreds by Riyad Mahrez and Erling Haaland, and City ended up staging I think it was a 4-goal comeback. And that's the only positive I have from this game, is Spurs play really attacking football. There is space left, right and centre for City to work with, as long as we're clinical. And we've not been clinical, because Haaland's just gone close there. Foden's gone close, Haaland's gone close. This game, City being clinical and put our chances away, it would have been 3-2 Manchester City. The opportunities are there. You've got to be clinical. Said I didn't want to state the obvious at the beginning of the stream when I said that the game's going to be decided on who puts the ball in the back of the net. At the moment, Spurs have created 2 chances, 2 goals. City have created 3 good chances, no goals. There's the difference. It's going to be a free kick for Spurs. The problem I have, Daniel, and we've got to get to January. January's still more than a month away. This form continues for another 3 or 4 weeks. And the Premier League, I'll tell you right now, I don't want to be dramatic, but this continues for another 3 to 4 weeks. We will end up being a good 15 points behind Liverpool. We lose today and we lose next weekend. I mean, what's the gap? And Liverpool win tomorrow. What's the gap then? It's, 5 points at the mo? 8 points if they win. They win next weekend. It's 11 points at the beginning of December. Oh, yeah. Serious problems. Real serious problems. Real poor giveaway that from Spurs, though. Ilkay Gundogan. It's just not strong enough from City. So poor. The midfield's just getting bullied. It's inexcusable. Absolutely inexcusable. As Marlon says, Chelsea win and Arsenal win next weekend. Man City go 4th. And you've got the rest of the hunting, chasing pack keeping an eye on you with City's form. Our form right now is bottom of the Premier League. The team's old. The team's lackluster. The team's all over the place. Here's Heung Min Son. And put out of play for a corner by Manuel Akanji. Spurs will be thinking they want to learn from the mistakes of the past when they've come to the Etihad. They've gone 2 up before and ended up losing to us. They've got to get a third. If I'm Spurs, I'm thinking, don't allow City to score in this first half and kill this game off and grab a third. Man City, we're at a point of no real return. He's got to overcommit. Try and score goals. At the moment, we've got no answer for a Tottenham team missing several key players. A team that's inconsistent and struggling, with a manager under a heap of pressure, at the moment completely outplaying us right now. We are far away from where we want to be. Far away from where we want to be. And we could get all our players back and it'll help ease some of the problems there. But the biggest hole that Man City have got is we've got the best player in the world missing the whole season. And you've got no plan B. We didn't have a plan B last season. Thankfully, we didn't have any injuries to Rodri. That's why we were so successful last season. And we faced the possibility of being so unsuccessful this season in not having a plan B to Rodri. And I can't get my head around why no plan B was signed in the summer. It's inexcusable, unforgivable from the board, from the management at City. Why they thought that was acceptable. Spain, Rodri, they were begging for Manchester City to do some business. Ease the pressure on him. And this is now why we are where we are. At the moment, you cling on to hope, and I'm going to go forward. We're going to be in a position that I've not seen in a while. There's a good ball in for Haaland. He just can't take the touch, and Spurs are going to get it clear. Reminds me a lot of the COVID season, the season before, obviously the full lockdown season that we had back in 2019, 2020, where Liverpool just ran away with it. Here's Phil Foden. He can't get it on target, and it goes wide. I don't really know what the solution is, if I'm being honest. When it comes to more energy and a bit more creativity, obviously Kevin De Bruyne is the option. I don't think Rico Lewis in midfield works. I don't think physically he's good enough. And I like Rico. He's a really good player. He's a really good option when we've got a team that's not going to play football. Because he's a very neat player. But in such a physical game like this, he just gets bullied. And here's Spurs, 2 touches in the City penalty area. And he just squares it across. It's so easy for them. So easy for them. I just wonder if this stays 2-0 at half-time. And it sounds... What do you guys make of this? It sounds incredible to say this, but a team that's won 4 Premier League trophies in a row, a team that's consecutive trophies in a row, and with the Premier League champions from last season, as to why at half-time here in such a poor game that City potentially could be booed off. Now, there's a minute's applause going round the stadium. A young City fan, sadly, passed away this week. Dedicated City fan, and so the City fans are showing tribute to him, which is a lovely touch, and we will get the same in the 71st minute as well, as Solanke nearly makes it 3, puts it over the top of the crossbar. Probably should have been 3. We'll have the same in the 71st minute as... one of the OGs for Manchester City's fans also sadly passed away this week. Age 71, so there'll be another minute's applause in the 71st minute. So it's been a good week in terms of Manchester City getting Pep on a new contract. But from the fans' side of things, lost a couple of real dedicated Blues, and very, very sad. So thoughts of me and everyone associated with the JSGC channel go out to both the family and friends there of the two City fans that have sadly passed away this week. Into the 29th minute. I think City have just got to try and manage this for the next few minutes. I mean, it sounds wild, but it might just be best for City to try and coast this game for the next 5 or 10 minutes, because I think Spurs are going to be thinking the closer this gets to half-time, they're going to start to sit tight just to ensure that they're going 2-0 and not 2-1. 2-0 and 2-1 are very different scores. And that's a poor giveaway from Spurs. There's something here for City. You've got to be clinical. Here's Savinho. It's a terrible pass. Every time we get excited. Every time. Who's one of yous will know, when was the last time City lost 5 games in a row in all competitions? I know 4 in a row was 2006. When was 5? Josko Gvardiol. It's a good ball, Savinho. What a save! The flag goes up. How does Vicario save that? Savinho with a diving header. He somehow gets a hand on it and tips it round the post. He is offside. It wouldn't have counted, but he makes the save anyway. How? He's off balance. He just like pushes it round the post. It's a tremendous save. It's been do you know? I know Justin before was saying it's been a good game of football. This been a real entertaining game of football. You got 2 teams here who want to play football and score goals. Here's Ilkay. Well, Andrew, I hope it's not going to be 6 losses in a row. We lose to Feyenoord, and our Champions League campaign's looking a bit perilous as well. Still got away matches against Juventus and PSG to come. We lose against Feyenoord and we're really on the ropes. Here's Kyle Walker to John Stones. Bernardo Silva. I think I'd like to see Kevin De Bruyne on for the second half. I think I'd get Matheus Nunes in as well. And I'd probably put Ake in for Josko Gvardiol because it's not been Josko Gvardiol's game. Here's Kyle Walker to Rico Lewis, edge of the penalty area. Good ball in, Kyle. Get a quality ball, and he goes down. He wants a free kick. He goes down second time of asking, and eventually does get a free kick. Daniel, I'm not worried about Liverpool. I don't think more than a game at a time. I'm currently very concerned about this game. When this game's done, all I'm going to be concerned about is Feyenoord, because everyone keeps speaking about Liverpool, but that Feyenoord game's not easy. Feyenoord have won every game in the Champions League so far this season away from home. They're under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. They play some good football. They know how to score goals. And we've got to win that game. That causes me a lot of concern. So I'm not thinking about Liverpool. I'm thinking about this and then that. Ball comes in from Foden. It's not a great ball and not a great touch from Savinho. And it's out of play for a goal kick. And Spurs fans are happy. Synth, I think you're spot on, my mate. Midfield looking disastrous from City so far. Raheem, spot on, mate. Lacking creativity in the team. Players, other than Haaland, not scoring goals. I think Haaland scored over half of Manchester City's goals so far this season. Gone from being a 2-player team with Rodri and Haaland to now just a 1-player team with Haaland. So teams find a way to keep Haaland quiet. You keep Man City quiet. There's no plan B. They're just running around, looking stretched. Reminds me a little bit of Pep's first season at City. I don't really understand how we've worked our way into this position. Obviously, Pep took over a team that wasn't his. That's why he was in that position in his first season back in 2016. But this is very much a Pep team that he's built and grown with, and I think the team peaked, and they don't have a plan B. I think it's pretty evident that the squad's not as strong as what it was last season. Letting you like see Julian Alvarez go and not replace them, a bit criminal as far as I'm concerned. Midfield problems have been there, and settled on Gundogan for free, who's 33 years old, rather than going for younger, fitter options that you can build your team around. A new spine for Manchester City. I just think that's one of many reasons. Here's John Stones enter Kyle Walker. There's still so long left in the season. You don't actually get a clear picture of what the season looks like until February. In February, I'll be able to give you a better answer. I know where City stand in the Champions League. I know how the Premier League's going to look going into the business end of the season, where City are notoriously a much stronger, better team, as Kulusevski and Bernardo Silva have some afters there. You can have a look at the domestic cups. Obviously, we know we're out the League Cup, so we know we're not winning that. You can have a look at the FA Cup because we enter into the fifth round of the competition by the time we hit Feb. So you know if City are trying to take that serious or not. And that's where the success lies. At the moment, Premier League, it's just... At the moment, it's just too often we're just left... Oh, let's just stay within touching distance. And too often Man City are too busy thinking about let's just stay within touching distance. And to me, not enough thinking about leading from the off. And too often we rely on the form in the second half of the season. Eventually it comes back to bite you on the backside. Here we are again. Anyway, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up, do subscribe. And do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Here's Haaland. Gundogan. Back to Haaland. Can't sort his feet out. Savinho can. He has a shot and it's straight at the keeper. Comfortable save for Vicario. We do need a backup for Rodri. Zed, it's an interesting conversation, that, about Pep. I'm not going to sit here and tactically challenge Pep Guardiola because he's, to me, the best manager in the world. Is he stubborn? Yes, I think his stubbornness makes him successful because he makes and finds ways for teams to improve. It's very much my way or the highway, and a lot of players would disrespect a manager who didn't have the honours that Pep Guardiola has. So it's very much a Man City want to play over back three. They don't want to go into a double pivot. They don't want to go into a back four. Pep wants to insist with what he's seeing. He clearly sees something. I just don't think we have the players for what he wants to play or what he wants to do. And the players that we do have who are capable of doing such a thing, I think, because that's a poor giveaway. And Savinho just can't take the touch. Savinho's got in some great positions and then just hasn't clicked. Anyway, we're getting towards that stage now for Spurs where they're 2-0 up. It's 8 minutes to go to half time. Poor giveaway from Pedro Porro. And what do Spurs decide to do? Because, as I said, 2-0 sounds better than 2-1. Tottenham going to be thinking 3-0 sounds much better than 2-0. Do you stick or twist? How do they manage the rest of this half? Man City is very clear they're going to want to try and score a goal. There's Pep Guardiola in deep discussion there with his backroom staff. Lovely, lovely interception from John Stones. I've seen some good stuff from City at times in this first half, and then at other times have really struggled. That's ball's given away from Savinho. He's unhappy again, thrashes his arms. Maybe they're just showing his inexperience there, Savinho. He's looking very frustrated. I'm not sure if he's frustrated at the decision being given against him. He's probably frustrated that he's had 2 or 3 good chances in this game so far, and it's just not quite been his night. I think the same can be said for Ilkay Gundogan and Josko Gvardiol as well. They're where the faults lie for me. Spurs defence, it can be got at here. Do you know what, guys? We weren't really linked with James Maddison when he became available and he went to Spurs. I remember thinking it was a really affordable deal. It was like £50 million. I remember thinking we don't really have many runners in our midfield. And I'd like to have seen him at City. I think he's a really good player. I rate James Maddison, I really do. And I couldn't understand why we didn't make an offer for him, because I felt like if City were just being serious, we could have had James Maddison. It could have been Maddison making these good runs into the box for City. It could be Maddison putting these balls away when we need him to. And he's a homegrown player as well. Opportunity missed. There's a couple of them Spurs players. I like Kulusevski. He's a real good player. I like Heung Min Son. There's some real good players there. Spurs should be doing much, much better than what they are so far this season. But as I said, they've lacked consistency. You know, they've beaten Villa this season. They've beaten City in the Cup. They've beaten us here at the Etihad. And then, you know, this same team lost to Ipswich Town, who are struggling in the Premier League at home. How do you explain that? That's why Spurs aren't further up the league. That's why Spurs aren't currently pushing for a top 4 place, because of that inconsistency. Seamus, I don't see Liam Delap coming back to City. I think it'd be kamikaze for him to come back at this stage. He wants regular football. He's going to prosper from playing on a regular basis, and at his age, he's really excelling because he's getting plenty of minutes at Ipswich Town, which is exactly what he needs. He comes to City and he plays Haaland's backup. And you're asking him at a young age to do something he's not used to, and I don't think he'd be that successful. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think he'd be that successful with it. Hi, Liam, you're not going to play for the next 4 games, and then you're going to come in, you're going to play 1 game, and if you don't score a goal or 2, you're not going to be given another opportunity for another 4 games, as Kulusevski's into the penalty area, and a shot comes in from Sarr, and it's over the top of the crossbar from Spurs. First time Spurs have managed to... Sorry, it was Basuma, not Sarr. First time that Spurs have managed to come forward in a few minutes. Spurs are getting a lot of players forward, 4 or 5 at a time. There's so much space. So much space. Raheem, I'd like to have some squad options from January. I think the 2 most important, obviously, are we're looking at defensive midfielders, as that's a lovely, lovely bit of play from Spurs. Managed to keep that ball in. And here's Heung Min Son. And it should be tackled, and he is, by Kyle Walker, and City can come away with it, thankfully. I would like to see squad options signed. A backup striker, so Erling Haaland can have a rest, would be needed. A defensive midfielder to come in who can help support and complement Rodri would be needed, as Savinho has a shot. It's blocked. It weren't a very good shot, so I'm quite happy that it was blocked, because City have still got hold of the ball. Here is Bernardo Silva now. Josko Gvardiol just drills a ball across. Hope more than expectation from Manchester City. And here is Kyle Walker now to Ilkay Gundogan. Has half a yard of space. Here's Josko Gvardiol. Got the option of Bernardo Silva. He's going to go first time. He goes deep looking for Haaland. He hooks it back across looking for Foden. He goes down. All over Phil Foden there. City have still got hold of the ball though. Here's Kyle Walker to Gundogan. It's one of them where I think the defender could maybe argue that Phil Foden was impeding him, that Tottenham should have a free kick, as Foden just scissors that into the stand. It's been so frustrating. It's a very, very frustrating first half from City. Anyway, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up. We're at 50 likes, halfway to 100. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe. And do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. So 2 minutes plus whatever's to be added on to get us into half-time. Said it was important that City kept this game alive going in at half-time. It's not a disaster, but it's not amazing either that Manchester City 2-0 behind at half-time. What is a disaster is going 3-0 behind, and that could happen because Spurs are leading forward here. Heung Min Son, edge of the penalty area. Kyle Walker does ever so well there. Oh, it's good stuff from Phil Foden. City can come forward now. Here's Ilkay Gundogan, Josko Gvardiol steaming forward. Wants it in front of him, gets it in front of him. He's got to back himself. Takes on Dragusin. Does really well there, Dragusin, and gets a corner for Manchester City. But it's better than with Tottenham looking stretched thin. The ball coming across there. Takes no chances. Good defending from Spurs. Good leading of the counter-attack from Manchester City. All round, good football. Another set piece for City. Could do with making one of these set pieces count. Now's a perfect time to change that team talk for Tottenham Hotspur at 2-0. It's comfortable. They're thinking, manage the game for the second half. Make it 2-1. How do they manage it then? Important part of the game. Corner comes in. Header won by Akanji. Into the stands. Set pieces, man. Set pieces are poor. So poor from Manchester City. They're so poor. When did I need to find out. When did Man City last lose 5 games in a row? No one's really spoken about it. That's what we need to know. We need to. When was the last time it happened? It's incredible that we're speaking about such a thing. Anyway, Thursday 3 minutes added on here. Here's Heung Min Son, edge of the penalty area once more for Spurs. That's not a good pass from Ben Davies. Forces Kulusevski, who's been everywhere on the pitch, to just settle for a throw-in instead. And Man City are looking a bit out of puff at the moment. Josko Gvardiol maybe sums it up best there. He just crouched down trying to catch his breath. And Kulusevski's doing the same. It's been a high-energy game. Nathan Ake out warming up. It's going to be a free kick for Spurs every day of the week. Every day of the week. Justin, yeah, very true. Although I find it quite incredible that Man City lose 5 games in a row and yet still Manchester United are far away from City and City somehow still sits second. Lose 3 Premier League games in a row, but teams are playing catch-up, but they're still not overtaking City. I find that remarkable. It just goes to show how far ahead Liverpool will go. Anyway, here's Heung Min Son. Just a minute left here. If the referee wants to add any more on, I don't think he will. It's surely offside and is. So City, time to create one more chance. I don't think City are in any particular rush. Who would I bring on in the second? Well, you got to bring De Bruyne on, Nunes, you got Grealish. There's attacking options. McAtee. All good options. Here's Bernardo. He's surely got to put something in the box. Here's Gundogan. into Bernardo. Now the ball comes into the box, looking for Haaland. Can't find Haaland. Here's Savinho. He can't play his passes. Savinho's been so hit and miss. Edge of the penalty area then. Last chance. Something's got to go into the box. It does, and it's straight at Vicario, and that will be half-time. Manchester City, far away from where they want to be. Far, far away from where they want to be. We do have a glimmer of hope. As I said, a couple of seasons back, we was in this exact same position where we were 2-0 behind against Spurs. And then we came back and put 4 past them in the second half. It was the Riyad Mahrez and Erling Haaland show that evening. So, for Spurs, they've got to be quite weary of such a thing. So, Pete putting ha-ha-ha in there obviously doesn't remember that game. But we've seen Manchester City be in them types of positions. We know what we need to do. We just look far away from where we are. There's a whole many reasons, but not bringing an alternative option to Rodri is just a kamikaze thing for the board to have done for the start of the season. Really poor in the transfer window. You got to freshen your squad up. When you don't freshen your squad up for a couple of summers, you look tired. You're playing every 3 to 4 days. You're chasing games. You're not putting your opportunities away. When you're winning, it's fine. Like we were at the beginning of the season, we're winning 5, 6, 7 games in a row. When you're winning games, it's all fine. It's all good. It's all, we're all happy. Lose 1, 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4, 4 potentially becomes 5. Is where you're really needing your management and your players, your experienced players, to really take charge of situations, and City just haven't really done that, and I think it's very disappointing. One thing City do have is a lot of experience on the pitch and a lot of tired legs on the pitch, and they can't really cope. I think Pete's right there. Clubs run out of fuel. Players have run out of fuel. That's what's got to be addressed in January. You've got to be adding a couple of fresh new players in. You need players who are hungry, who haven't won things before. It sounds crazy that you don't go for players with elite mentality. You want to bring players in who are hungry, players who want to win the big trophies. Motivation can be quite difficult when you've won 4 Premier Leagues in a row. What's your motivation? I want to put ourselves in the most difficult position possible to show that, we can do it. But we keep going like this. This goes on for another 3 or 4 weeks, and to me, the Premier League season's done for Man City. We lose today and we lose at Anfield next week, and trust me, we play like we did over the last 5 games at Anfield. It will be a one-way result and a one-way game next week, so that's where we are. It is where we are. Anyway, love to know your thoughts. Love to know your thoughts, guys. But the worst part is, I'd love to throw out some suggestions to you guys about how you sort this out, but I don't have an answer. I don't think there's any player out there who really makes the difference for City. City are insistent they want to go with this back 3 that can invert into a back 4. Players who can pivot, players who know how to attack and know when to defend. You want players who can do that. You need players that can run, plenty of legs in the players, plenty of energy. You need hard-working players in that central midfield. And it's not happened. Your players like your Bruno Guimaraes, your players who are going to take the game by the scruff of the neck, give a bit fresh energy in there. And, we've seen it from James Maddison and Kulusevski with Tottenham, how much having runners makes so much of a difference in your team. The team just looks tired. It looks unmotivated. It looks like it's got no idea of what they want to do, and it becomes more and more frustrating when things don't click. Now, I think second half could be a bit more straightforward for City. Don't really think you need to be thinking about how do you grow and get into the game, and how do you do this phase of the game, how do you do that phase of the game. We're 2-0 down. Very simple. You work the ball into the box, you create opportunities, and you score goals. That is what Manchester City have to do, and you've got to put Tottenham Hotspur on the back foot. An early goal for City in the second half has Tottenham Hotspur thinking, what do we do here? Because 2-0 scorelines, I say it all the time, I hate 2-0 scorelines. The dangerous scores, real dangerous scores, it's, what do? You score next, you kill the game, it's 3-0, it's done and dusted. Or do you go out there, sit on it, concede next, and then it's one-way traffic. And then you're just sitting back, defending, waiting for the inevitable to happen. And the longer this game goes on, the more it becomes a mental factor for Tottenham Hotspur to be able to hang on and take points. Now, they've taken points off Man City before at the Etihad. Did it last season. They know what it takes. Man City know what it takes to come from behind here. So I think it sets things up quite nicely going into the second half. Crystal clear to me that you need some fresh legs on there. So I wouldn't hesitate to get your Akes on for Josko Gvardiol, De Bruyne on for Savinho, Jack Grealish on. Maybe be tempted to take off Rico Lewis and put Jack Grealish on, move him out wide and get Foden and Bernardo Silva into midfield more. Maybe what I'd be looking towards. Anyway, having a look at the statistics for this game using today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. I will roll my promo video for that right now. So thank you very much to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. So City just about had more possession, 53% compared with 47% for Tottenham Hotspur. Expected goal rate around the same, City at just over 1, Spurs at just under 1. City have created one big opportunity and not scored, 10 shots, forcing the save a couple of times from Vicario, not being clinical. Spurs created 2 big opportunities. They've had 5 shots, 4 of which on target, 2 saves for Ederson and 2 goals. Spurs deadly in front of goal, punishing Manchester City. If City were as clinical as what Spurs were, this game would be done and dusted right now. They haven't. City have marginally, off the statistics, been the better team. Spurs, though, have been much better in front of goal, and that has been the big difference for me for this game. City have had more passes, have made more tackles, but, you know, it means nothing if you're not going to put the ball in the back of the net. Not being clinical from City, and that's got to change, and they've got to score early in this second half, because if they don't, we face the prospect of 5 losses in a row. Huge game against Feyenoord midweek. Anfield awaits us next weekend. It gets no easier for Manchester City, and big questions start to get asked of Manchester City, a team that's won 4 Premier Leagues in a row, team that a couple of seasons back won the treble, won the Champions League, went out last year in the Champions League against Real Madrid on a penalty shootout whilst losing no games in the Champions League last year. And yet, here we are. We lose on this game and lose on Tuesday. It'll be 6 losses in a row. We're looking, staring down a barrel pretty much when it comes to the Premier League. If we lose this game and we lose next weekend against Liverpool, which is very much a possibility right now. We lose against Feyenoord as well, and it's near enough over for City to finish in the top 8, and we've got to play an extra couple of games in the Champions League through 8 group games rather than 6, and then you've got to go into a playoff, so you end up playing 4 more games this season than last, whilst having a smaller squad, whilst having Oscar Bobb out until January, whilst not having Rodri for the whole season, whilst having no pre-season next season because you've got a Club World Cup to play in. The schedule's relentless. And it's getting no easier for Manchester City. And the squad management, that to me is the critical error here. Pep likes working with a smaller squad. Brilliant. But as the season goes on, in your rotation, you have a few injuries. How do you cope then with your smaller squad? You're not going to use the young players, and you're just going to continue persevering with an aging, older squad. You're going to end up with tired legs. No runners in that Man City midfield. They've been bullied. They've been outpaced. It's been poor from Manchester City. Not what you'd expect from a Manchester City side. Real poor. There we go. Anyway, it's only half time. We'll speak more. We'll digest more at full time if it is to be what it is. In the end, Andrew, yes, I said it's one-way traffic for Liverpool. If this form continues for another 3-4 weeks, the Premier League's too far for Man City. It's not so much of a problem whilst the points tally, I'd normally say 8-9 points can be clawed back. I've seen City do 8-9 points before. Not a great position to be in, but it can be done. 11 to 15 points. Yeah, no. Anyway, we'll go through the scores for today's games. Poor English from JSGC. Premier League. Leicester City 1, Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0, Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2, Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2, Everton 0, Brentford 0, Fulham 1, Wolves 4. Great win for Wolves today. Down in London, and half-time here, Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Championship, Bristol City 0, Burnley 1, Coventry 2, Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Cardiff 1, Blackburn, Portsmouth postponed due to the weather. Luton 1, Hull 0, Millwall 1, Sunderland 1, Oxford 2, Middlesbrough 6, Preston 1, Derby 1, QPR 1, Stoke 1 and West Brom 2, Norwich 2. League 1, Bolton 2, Blackpool 1, Shrewsbury 3, Birmingham 2, Stevenage 0, Leyton Orient 0, Barnsley 0, Wigan 1, Burton 0, Stockport County 3, Stockport flying at the moment in League 1. Crawley 1, Rotherham 0, Huddersfield 2, Charlton 1, Lincoln 2, Wickham 3, Mansfield 0, Bristol Rovers 1, Northampton 0, Cambridge 0, Peterborough 1, Reading 2 and Wrexham 3, Exeter 0, Wrexham also doing very well. And in League 2 finally, Grimsby 0, Colchester 1, Notts County 0, Newport 0, Wimbledon 0, Walsall 1, Bradford Accrington postponed due to the weather, Carlisle 0, Doncaster 0, Chesterfield 1, Barrow 0, Fleetwood MK Dons postponed due to the weather, Gillingham 1, Harrogate 2, Salford City and Bromley postponed due to the weather, and Swindon 2, Morecambe 3. There we go. There are all the scores. Got some half-time entertainment for you guys, so I will catch you in a few minutes ready for what is going to be a massive second half for Manchester City. This is brought to you by my partner channel, Mixid. Go and check him out. Links and details there in the description. Go and like and subscribe. This is the Solero cocktail recipe from The Alchemist.
What's up guys, welcome back to the Mixed channel where we do cocktails, and today's cocktail is another classic Alchemist one from the past, the Solero, and I will show you how to make this delicious cocktail, because the Solero is a popular one back in the day. Right, to make the Solero guys, get your cocktail shaker and put in some ice. Right, the first ingredient to go in guys is 22.5ml or 3/4 of an ounce of Passoa, which is a passion fruit liqueur. So any fans of the Porn Style Martini will recognise this spirit. Next up is 22.5ml or 3/4 of an ounce of vodka. We're using the Russian standard. Next is 7.5ml or 1/4 of an ounce of LNG mix, which is sugar syrup and lemon juice mixed together. Next is a 10ml of a mango syrup. I'm using the Monin brand. Beautiful. Next is 15ml or 1/2 ounce of fresh lime juice. Next is 40ml of orange juice, which is just under 1.5 ounce. We'll do it that way. And the last ingredient guys is 40ml or just under 1.5 ounce of apple juice. You can use a cloudy apple juice if you wish. And the last thing to do now is get 1/2 passion fruit and just squeeze into it. Get that juice, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right. Right, put your lid on and give it a good shake for 8 to 10 seconds to get it nice and chilled. There it goes, nice and chilled, as you can see from the tin shaker. Get your cool glass. Time straight into it. That's what I'll do about there. It's enough for 2 really. Alright, now the fun part, the white chocolate fountain. There we go. 1 Solero. Right, how does the Solero cocktail taste? I want to taste this. Oh, that's beautiful. I enjoyed that much, I'm making a mess. Mmm. Mustaches and cream do not go together. Mm.
Oh.
And that is how you make the Solero cocktail. So it's still a beautiful, beautiful drink. You can see why it's popular back in the day. I'm not too sure why they stopped. Hopefully the Alchemist will bring it back. What do you think, Alchemist? I think we nailed it. And I must say, I think we've got enough too. But to make the white chocolate foam, it can be fun to make with your foam. That's the hard part, making the foam and getting that right, the white chocolate foam. Because it's a lot of ingredients, it's very nice. It's certainly, what's the one I'm looking for? Fruity, that's it. And the passion fruit and the orange just certainly gives it that lovely, lovely fruity flavour. The Solero, the lollipop, if you ever had it as a kid, it's certainly lovely. But that is the Solero cocktail, guys. I hope you enjoyed this classic from The Alchemist. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mixit for more cocktails like this. And I will see you guys for the next cocktail video. Cheers. Let's go.
You're improving.
Yeah, I could have asked for a better film, it's turned out really well.
Instagram Mixed.
Yes, don't forget to like it.
A lovely looking drink. Could do with one of them right now, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, because Man City's second half hasn't got off to a great start. Nathan Ake's come onto the pitch for John Stones because John Stones is injured. I tell you, you've got to be ruthless when it comes to this. Kovacic was signed to be a squad player because you know his injury record. It's poor. John Stones is made of glass. His injury he just can't be relied upon. Nathan Ake's injury record over the last year has been poor. You cannot keep relying on your squad to be built around injury-prone players. I love John Stones to bits, but you can't rely upon him. And if you can't rely upon him, he's unreliable. You've got to go out and bring somebody else in. Same with Ake, same with Kovacic. You can't rely on these players. They're made of glass. They can't do 3-4 games in a row. So if you've not got them options already, you're on the back foot. Any serious injuries to any of your main players and you're screwed. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable that a club as good and as well ran as Manchester City. It was unbelievable, that free kick given to Spurs then. On Maddison from Gundogan. Never a free kick. Feels him go through the back of him, goes to ground, and the referee just says, yeah, not for me. And already Spurs are doing a bit of time wasting. Rain comes down in Manchester. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Good defending from Akanji. And do you know one thing I'm really worried about? And I picked up on this from Pep's press conference when asked about the recovery of Rodri. He's going to be spending a lot of time in Manchester from the new year onwards, and says his recovery is going really well and City are really optimistic. And because of how poor City are without Rodri, I've got a real dark feeling that when I say it's a season-ending injury, that at some point before the end of the season, if City have got something to play for, they're going to rush Rodri back without him being given the necessary time for him to recover. And in the long term, it could be disastrous for Rodri. It's just a shocking pass from Savinho. Bless me. Ball comes in from Spurs. Not the best. Picked up by Heung Min Son at the back. I'll tell you what, guys, I need a drink. Oh. $50 minutes in then. Don't forget, guys, leave a thumbs up. 42 likes away from 100. And do subscribe. And do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Seamus, Stones has come off for Ake. Stones is injured. Free kick given against City. City is already looking frustrated first 5 minutes. Spurs will consider this well managed. I mean, at what point do Spurs think we've done what we need to do? I reckon the game plan will be first phase, first 15 minutes, see out the threats of Manchester City, force Man City onto the back foot that they're forced to chuck, caution to the wind from the bench, and from there, see if they can manage through the little whirlwind that City will have to try and get back in the game. And if they survive that and they get to about 70, 75 minutes, barring some kind of miracle, City are struggling, that'll be the plan for Spurs. That's what they'll be angling towards. That's what they'll be looking for. Free kick for City there. Seamus says go 4-4-2, try and get some goals. The rejuvenation of 4-4-2. And we'll let Alvarez go in the summer when I've been crying for two up top. Foden, terrible pass. They're passing in the final third. Poor. When do you put Kevin De Bruyne on the pitch? You've got one of the Premier League's most creative, best players that it's ever seen. Kulusevski just plays a ball across to Solanke. He squares it across, and there's 3 for Tottenham. And I imagine that's game, set and match. It's Pedro Porro, former City man, scores the goal. City all over the place. Unbelievable from Manchester City. Absolutely unbelievable. Don't forget, this is a Spurs side with injuries. A Spurs side that's struggling for a bit of form and consistency. And they've got no answers at all. It's so easy for Tottenham. Andrew sums it up really well. Embarrassingly poor. It's not just poor, it's embarrassingly poor. The defence is all over the place. Rico Lewis just skirts out the way of the ball like he's scared to make a block. You've got to throw yourself in front of the ball. I don't know what to suggest. It was one-way traffic. It reminds me very similar of the Sporting game. It was one-way traffic, a team that knows what they want to do and executes the plan perfectly, compared with a team who has no plan at all. And any competent team will rip through it. It's absolutely horrific from City. Rico Lewis with a late challenge. Clearly all the frustrations out getting shown out there. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to suggest. I don't know what the answer is for Manchester City. I'm not entirely sure that Pep Guardiola has the answer right now. I don't think he does. I think he's just sticking with until Man City play a team that's so poor that City can win. We're poorer than Oliver Twist. What a statement from Spike. Julia returned into United. Maybe. This is uncharted territory for Pep Guardiola. At the moment, and this speaks volume to me, Man City's best hope of getting a result from this game, that's still got 35 minutes remaining, is that it's heavy rain coming down in Manchester, that the game gets abandoned, than where we are when we find ourselves in this game so far. And I'll tell you what, one thing I think Man City have really lacked in the defence is the absence of Ruben Dias. I don't think people realise just how organised he is with Man City's defence, and not having Ruben Dias really tells at the back for me. I think it's just kind of an unsung player that no one really speaks too much about. It's a poor giveaway again. What is this? Where's Bernardo? Josko Gvardiol. It's a poor ball. Creatively poor. Midfield shocking. Defensively weak. And this is what you end up with. The form of a team that if the Premier League started 6 games ago, Manchester City would be bottom. The form is worse than that of any team in the relegation zone right now. Man City lack ideas. They have no answers. It's going to be 5 defeats in a row. We was happy to get back to the Etihad and they're having it handed to them by Tottenham Hotspur. I don't know what the answer is. Everyone keeps speaking about that Liverpool game. I'm telling you right now, the Feyenoord game causes me so much concern, guys. 4 games they've played in the Champions League, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 wins for them have come on the road. They've beaten Benfica away. They're no mugs. No mugs at all. Feyenoord do something against City on Tuesday night, and we're in trouble in the Champions League. Got trips to Turin, trips to Paris, got Club Brugge. I'm concerned, guys. I'm very concerned. I'm concerned that the rest of the teams have played catch-up. I'm concerned that we all know we're going to lose next week at Anfield. Here's Josko Gvardiol. Squares a ball across. Ake can't sort his feet out. Corner City. Rico Lewis. Headed clear by Spurs. The creativity from City is so poor. Another cross. Easy header. That's a poor giveaway from Spurs, and Erling Haaland has a shot, hits the crossbar. Nadir, give you hope. Throw Nunes, Grealish and De Bruyne on the pitch, score a goal in the next 5 minutes. Maybe. That's the only hope you've got. I don't think City are going to chuck any players on. They're just happy to, be 3-0 down at home against Tottenham, a team that going into the game were 11th. Absolutely embarrassing for Manchester City. Embarrassing. And the club are so orientated on coasting to January. Bring a player in is what they keep saying. Josko Gvardiol shot blocked and out for a throw-in. The schedule. I looked at the schedule. End of January into February. The schedule's no easier. There's the potential of Man City doing a similar run to what we're on now of 4 or 5 losses in a row if you're not on it. And this could go south very quickly. This little gap that we've had between us and the rest, obviously, yeah, you keep your eye, you want a challenge for the Premier League title, but at the moment, I'm thinking you first and foremost is you got to finish in the top 4, and I think there's a strong possibility that by close of play next weekend, Man City will be out of the top 4. This form continues and goes on. They don't have the answers. It's Tottenham Hotspur preparing substitutions and sending players on, not Manchester City. Brennan Johnson's going to be the one. It's not been good from Man City today. They've lacked ideas. They've been all over the shop. Been one of the worst performances that I've seen from City. Been one of the worst. It's going to be Johnson coming on and Heung Min Son goes off. The fans in the stadium I feel sorry for most. These fans have paid hard-earned money. They've paid 70, 80, 90 pound to watch this game, to watch this. In the pouring rain, end of November, there's a storm in the UK right now. It's freezing cold. The fans deserve better. I don't mind losing a game. We've won 4 in a row. I've seen Man City win anything and everything. And one thing you look for is desire, effort, the will to win. Something that Man City have been notoriously very good at under Pep Guardiola, and I've not seen any of it today. And the clock just continues to tick away. Man City don't look like scoring a goal. is Josko Gvardiol who slices it into... City aren't scoring today, are they? "14 shots, 2 on target. Spurs, 6 shots, 5 on target. 3 big chances, 3 goals. I don't understand why they've not chucked players onto the pitch. You're losing 3-0. You take defenders off, you put attackers on. You've got to try and get back into the game. You may as well lose 5 or 6-0. Losing 3-0 is just not good enough. Like they just settled for, we'll just keep plodding along at 3-0 down. I'm quite surprised Spurs aren't thinking about putting City to the sword. And I'll tell you right now, with the form that City are in, someone like Liverpool at Anfield next week, I don't think they'll be so relentless. If there's an opportunity to go out there and score 6-7 goals against City, I mean, Spurs could go 4 up here. Should have scored. Kulusevski, good save from Ederson. Mr. Super Sid, I just think there's a whole host of problems everywhere. A lack of energy, a lack of motivation, a lack of willingness to win, lack of ideas, lack of preparation, lack of planning, poor management in the off-season, reluctance to shake and change things up, stubbornness, everything. Got some good options. Nunes in great form. Jack Grealish got a point to prove. Kevin De Bruyne on the bench. You bring them on. You throw them on right now. Put them 3 on and you say, help us score 3 goals. Rico Lewis, another shot off target, guys. Another shot off target. Absolutely atrocious from Manchester City. Pep Guardiola must be seething. He must be absolutely seething right now. Here's Savinho into the penalty area. And he commits a free kick. Just over 20 minutes left of the game anyway. Leave a thumbs up, do subscribe, do check out SoberScore, today's video sponsor. Adam, the only reason I'm not optimistic about we still sit second is we go to Anfield next weekend. Form that we're in, we're going to lose at Anfield next weekend. Haaland header over the top of the crossbar. Nadir, we're not winning at Anfield next weekend. And I actually think if we won at Anfield next weekend, I'd actually be thinking to myself that we're good enough to go to Anfield and win, yet we perform like how we have so far this season just isn't isn't good enough. But there's no way that happens. Which means that second place next weekend becomes 5th, becomes 6th. NS, I don't really understand. You say stay humbled, yet we sit above Arsenal despite being quite evidently shite. Which I think speaks volume for everybody else bar Liverpool. So unless it's Liverpool, I don't think anybody else really has the right to speak. I don't understand why no substitutions have been made from City. You see, Nadir, that's where my concern is. I think this game's gone. My concern's Feyenoord. Premier League's a marathon. The Champions League's not a marathon. You don't finish in the top 8, you have a tremendous risk. You basically put yourself into a knockout. So early in the season into a knockout. Kevin De Bruyne's coming on. What? 25 minutes too late? Don't really get why he's not chucked on much earlier. I'm baffled. There's Foden. Poor effort. Easy save for the keeper. Jack Grealish coming on. As the commentator just said, it's not really enough time for De Bruyne and Grealish to make a difference. Why are they sending them on 17 minutes to go when you're 3-0 down? Why? Rico Lewis also goes off. I don't understand, guys. I really don't understand. And Jackie G comes on. Nice to see Jack back, to be fair. Oh, lovely from Bernardo. Not the best of balls in, but nice little spark from Bernardo Silva there. That is a horrific ball in from Walker. Here's De Bruyne. Gives the ball away. Picked up by Ilkay Gundogan. 15 minutes then. To Bernardo Silva. Ball comes in. Not the best again. Too close to the keeper. The balls into the box from City have been so poor. Dalton makes a good point. Players don't want to leave in January. So the only option it leaves you with is to go out and either pick a player who would see it as a great honour to join Man City and therefore wants to leave in January because that's their opportunity, their chance to become a Manchester City player, to work with Pep Guardiola. So I'm talking squad players. In terms of first 11, unless you go to Spain with release clauses, it's not going to happen. I mean, Ilkay Gundogan's just had a shot saved by Vicario. He should have scored straight at the keeper. Junaid, I'm tired as well of watching this game. I do a live watch-along. If I turn it off because I just can't be bothered watching it anymore, I become a meme. I'm not like everyone else at home that can just turn it off. Just go, time out, we're done. Bernardo Silva just heads one back across. Foden. What's with the hit and hope? I don't really understand. Free kick given against City, much to City's frustration. It's been a big game of frustration, this, for Manchester City. That's an awful challenge from Bernardo Silva. It's late. It's clumsy. He's going to be shown the yellow card there, but it's a real ugly challenge from Bernardo Silva. He just boots out and kicks at James Maddison there because he's got ahead of him. He's just deliberately taking him out. Nasty, nasty challenge. I'll tell you what, guys. I go away tomorrow, so I missed the Feyenoord game and I missed the Liverpool game, and I'll be honest, I'm quite glad that I get to miss them. Because when City perform and play like how they've played today, as I said before, I don't mind losing. It's actually been a pretty good game of football, I think. Spurs have just taken their opportunities really well. But it's the lack of effort from the players. That's what gets me. It's the lack of effort, the lack of desire to change. You go 1-0 behind, you should be angry, you should be wanting to respond immediately. Bar the first 5 minutes where City put Spurs under pressure and put them on the back foot, I've just not seen anything from City today. Spike, I agree, probably is for the best. In fact, I'd recommend anybody that's in a lucky position where they're able to head away and not watch the game to do so, to be able to take a step away from where we're at. It's a lovely pass from De Bruyne. Haaland, great save from Vicario, and De Bruyne goes in late this time, and that'll be a free kick, and De Bruyne's there to pick the player up. Vicario's made a couple of good saves, and now it's frustrations are boiling over. I mean, said before about the lack of leadership on the pitch. You know, you've got somebody like Kevin De Bruyne who, you know, he might be getting older, but at least he's prepared to get stuck in. He's prepared to rattle cages. AK, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Is a shambles. There was a lovely pass from De Bruyne into the channel for Haaland. A good save from the keeper. Keeper knows how big it is to make the save. It does show how important it is having not having Rodri for Manchester City and how good of a player he is. It seems that Rodri's the difference between what I've seen over the last 5 games is a mediocre, maybe even a poor team, into an unbelievable team. That's how good he is. You feel the absence when you don't have him. How many times last season did we not have Rodri and we felt the absence? Every single time. And we're feeling the absence of Rodri now more than ever. And we just there isn't a plan B. They don't know how to play or win football games without him. They coped for 3 games upon the initial injury for Rodri, but past that, as said before, I genuinely do feel this carries on for another 3-4 weeks, and Man City's hope for success come the end of the season becomes the lottery of the Champions League. You feel the absence of not having Rodri there, but you have the bonus in the Champions League, which is why I've said before, I feel like the Champions League's an easier trophy to win than the Premier League. Premier League requires extreme consistency over a long period of time. Champions Leagues can be decided through 2 games. You turn up for 180 minutes and go through. You can look your way into winning the Champions League. Happened before, and it'll happen again. Premier League, on the other hand, requires extreme consistency over a long period of time. That's why you see real good teams. You know, look how good Liverpool were under Jurgen Klopp. Outstanding. Nothing short of it. He's come away with 1 Premier League trophy. You're talking, in my opinion, one of the best Premier League teams, and he's come away with just 1 trophy. And that 1 trophy is an outstanding achievement. Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, so vastly improved. I rate Arteta. I think he's a quality manager. Plays real good stuff, Arsenal, yet not come away with a Premier League trophy because the level that it takes to win the Premier League is so difficult. Champions League, you know, that Chelsea team I've always think of it back in 2012. Not very good. You stay in a game, though, and you put your chance away when you need to, and you come away with a Champions League trophy. Poor ball given away by Spurs. City, since the substitutions, have shown a bit of grit and a bit of desire to want to try and actually score goals. Akanji has a shot. A corner. A corner, guys. We've not had much to celebrate today. Maybe we need to celebrate getting another corner. Here's De Bruyne. Oh, his shot's blocked. Will Man City put a good ball in the box today? 83rd minute. Here's Jackie G. Pings one up. Bernardo Silva. Guess what, guys? Over the top of the crossbar. Oh, I'll be honest, Seamus. I think Man City will send a weakened team out to the Club World Cup. Because otherwise the players aren't going to get a rest. I mean, Spurs have shown today. I've had it in theory, and I've never really understood teams' approaches, but Spurs have shown today the importance of if you're going to have an attack and have a pop at Man City, you can beat them. You don't have to park a bus to beat Man City. You don't have to frustrate Manchester City through As Josko Gvardiol. Another shot off target, guys! Another shot off target. Any of you Better Call Saul fans on Netflix, which I'll tell you right now is the best program ever, in my opinion. When Jimmy's at the residential home doing the bingo draws, and he's pulling out, I think he's pulling out a B all the time. It's Man City, pull out. Would you guess it? Another shot off target. Here's Bernardo Silva to Kyle Walker. Here's Akanji then to Ake. Julius, I just started watching Bad Sisters. Netflix had Schitt's Creek on it. American sitcoms, not normally my cup of tea, but rated it. Really good program. Got Eugene Levy and his son Daniel Levy in it. Very good. Bernardo Silva puts the ball in. Jack Grealish, he might have kept that in, you know. He has. The referee's overruled that and said it's gone out of play. Made the minds up eventually. Right, 4 minutes remaining of our horror show for this evening. I'm not going to be back for another live watch-along, guys, until our game against Nottingham Forest. Hopefully, next time you see me on a live stream, we will maybe won a game. Put a good ball in the box. Scored goals. Maybe, hopefully, the poor run of forms come to an end. You know, I'll go to sleep tonight and I'll think, you know, maybe we will beat Feyenoord. Maybe we'll go to Anfield and pick up the 3 points, because that's the season Man City are having. As Nadir was saying before, it's just about the most Man City thing you could think of. Now, I'm not a fan of what Udogi's just done there. He clearly felt a pain in his leg. He's ran off the field and then hopped his way back onto the field to go down to receive treatment. Don't really understand why he's done that. The team's 3-0 up. 3 minutes remaining. Julia, yeah, we are. We do seem to be up Schitt's Creek at the mo. We do. Spike, who's up? Oh, we need to all be up for a brew. Foden gets his foot onto that. Kulusevski. Not often I give a JSGC man of the match to an opposing player, but Kulusevski's been outstanding today. Him and James Maddison. I think I'm probably going to give it to Maddison as Ederson gets round. Tottenham hit the post. Surely the offside flag's going to come. It does come. Referee's going to play the advantage. Gary, I wouldn't exactly call a team that's won a treble and won 4 Premier League trophies in a row and made history as being arguably the best Premier League team ever crap. Granted, the form over the last 5 games has been crap. Thankfully, seasons aren't decided over 5 games. Oh, I'm not denying that we've been absolutely bloody awful. Not denying that. I'm not going to sit and disrespect a team that's won and done everything that there is to be achieved, though. I mean, that's downright disrespectful. I think the fans in the stadium have felt very frustrated. I don't think they're going to boo the players off, though, because these players that we've got have brought us the happiest memories of our lives. And, you know, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to, if you want to boo them, boo them. But, you know, there'll come a point in life where you'll think about the best moments of your life created by football, and what Man City have achieved over the last 4 seasons will be what you will think about. What's frustrating for us fans is we're seeing here a team reach its pinnacle and dipping from its pinnacle. And it's so difficult to get to the top. It's even more difficult to stay at the top. And to be able to do it for 4 consecutive seasons is nothing short of impressive. No other team's ever done it before. I have no doubt Man City will win more Premier Leagues. Give Pep Guardiola enough time, he'll sort it out, 100%. But for this season, there's no answer for Man City. No answer. So it's about, if you're not going to win the Premier League, you make sure you run the damage limitations. You make sure you finish in the top 4. You know, you have a pop in the FA Cup and you assess and look at what you do in the Champions League. I'm intrigued, so I'm gonna take the bait here, Randell. You say sack Pep after just putting him on a new contract. Who's better than Pep? Who do you bring in? Just out of an interest, I just want to know who you think's better than Pep. Because I'd say all the other 19 teams in the Premier League would kill to have Pep. As we enter into added time. 4 minutes. Why have they added 4 minutes? It's 4 minutes of our lives we don't get back. The game's done. I've never understood it. Game's done. I know for goal difference and you're thinking about things, but what's to be achieved? You say you don't care, it's too stupid. Who do you bring in? What's the answer? That's a great ball from De Bruyne. Desperately unlucky. Good defending actually from Dragusin to get that out for a corner. He's done well not to score an own goal. Wicked ball in that from KDB. That sums up Man City's evening. Missed communication on the corner. Goes out of play. Goal kick. Amounts to out. I think the Man City players just want this game to end and tomorrow's a new day. Scott, spot on, yeah. Very Spurs. I don't know who Spurs have got next in the Premier League, but it'll be the most Spurs thing to lose the next game. And ultimately, it's what stops. You know, Spurs have got quality players. They had consistency. They'd be a top 4 team. As a yellow card comes out for Akanji, more frustrations hit Manchester City. Long ball comes in from Spurs. As the Etihad empties out. Spurs fans don't blame them at all in full voice. Coming to the Etihad, dictated the game. Played a good game of football. Put the chances away really well. Played really well as well. Could get even better for Spurs here, you know. Timo Werner, he's done Walker for pace and squared across. Surely 4 and is. Wow, 4-0, Brennan Johnson, the subs combine and makes it 4-0. Manchester City are going to lose by 4 at home. And Spurs complete what is the perfect performance at the Etihad Stadium there. The pace of both Timo Werner and Brennan Johnson really tore Manchester City apart there. And Kyle Walker there done for pace once more. JSGC is delighted that he's going on holiday tomorrow. Absolutely delighted, guys. Serious questions. Serious questions for Manchester City to think about. And once again, it's just a poor giveaway from City. I think it's 3. In fact, all Spurs goals have come from Man City giving the ball away. It's a good ball from Timo Werner. If we don't laugh, guys, we'll cry. Postecoglu's done a job on Pep Guardiola today. Then Manchester City need to have a serious shake-up of things. Really do. Really do need to have a serious shake-up of things. Anyway, guys, don't forget, please do leave a thumbs up. We're 29 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. It does help to support my channel. Do subscribe. And do check out SofaScore, today's video sponsor. Great way to keep up to date with all the latest scores, statistics, and all your good footballing needs. Anyone that does check out SofaScore, free app to download, by the way, so worthwhile checking out. Does help to support the content on my channel. We're back with my match reaction within an hour of the game. I'll give all of my thoughts on there and allow people to express their opinions and so forth. And then we'll have a day off. I'll have my preview up on Monday against Feyenoord. My recommendation here, obviously City have been annihilated here by Tottenham Hotspur. The way that Man City need to think now is they've lost 5 in a row. Well, a huge Champions League game against Feyenoord. They've seriously got to think about that game against Feyenoord now. That's a must-win game for Manchester City. Premier League's not going to plan for City, but in the Champions League, a win against Feyenoord puts Man City near enough back on track for finishing in the top 8. And who knows, come the end of the season, it could be a Champions League do-all and end-all for Manchester City. So there's plenty for City to ponder. Premier League's a marathon of a season. It gets no easier with a trip to Anfield. I mean, let's face it, we play like we did today. Liverpool will probably put 10 past us, to be honest, because embarrassingly poor from Manchester City. And they've got to find a way. Quite simple. You can't wait till January. The season will be gone if you wait till January. You got to find your solution. Obviously, City have headed into the season happy with the squad, but you've got to be happy and prepared for all situations. So clearly the board and Manchester City are happy with all situations. So they've got to go and sort it out. Anyway, guys, I'll have my match reaction up for you guys within the next hour, so do stay tuned for that. Do take it easy. Try and have as best a weekend as possible. As I said, got my match reaction out, got my preview to look forward to on Monday. And then I'll do some YouTube shorts and stuff maybe if where I'm going to's got good Wi-Fi. Probably doing the world a good to not have any Wi-Fi, if I'm honest. Oh, man. Anyway, guys, yeah, thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much to everybody that's left a thumbs up and interacted with me today. Big shout out to you guys. Don't forget, like the video, do subscribe. Do go check out SofaScore as well. Today's video sponsor. Links and details, they are in the description. Do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. And do go check out my social media links. You can find them in the description. So go do my match reaction. I'll give more of my thoughts over there. We can express some of our opinions and frustrations. And any of you guys that are familiar on social media, you'll have seen over the last 4 losses that we've had. Social media becomes very toxic and gets very frustrating. It gets very bitter, angry, and very annoying. I'd recommend if you're not able to engage with that kind of thing to quite simply not engage with it. Stay off social media is what I would recommend. As a content creator, it becomes very difficult to be able to do so. But you know, you've got to deal with the situation of what you're dealing with, haven't you? You've got to deal with what you're dealing with. We've got to navigate the fact that, you know, we've lost 5 games in a row. Where do you go from here? Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy. I've been JSGC. Peace. Ciao for now.